Hi Mike, I have some comments to this charging video you had made. I think you should try to find the power drop you have on Nate's bike. I'll try to explain here how you can find this power drop. You have to have a multimeter where you can measuring amps like here, and you put the multimeter on amps, and then you should use the common and the amps plug here, because you have to, and the meter like this you can measuring up to 10 amps. So when you're measuring the amps, you will never use the start button, because you are drawing so much amps that you are hurting the multimeter. If it's a expensive one, there will be a fuse in the multimeter, and you will the fuses blow up, or it will go, and the meter will survive. But if it's a cheap one, you can if you put too much draw to a cheap one, there's not you cannot be sure there's an amp or a fuse in it, and you can the amp can blow up. That's the meter. Then you can use something like this to connect it to the bike. This have this advantage, it's quick to do this way. It has the disadvantage that's the connection is not so bulletproof. If you pull it too hard, it will fall off and so. So normally I will use a device, homemade device like this, where I can take the probes here and screw them into here, and I can bolt this onto the battery, and I can bolt this onto the negative connecting poles. But the first thing we have to do here is to connect the amp or the multimeter to the bike. And there's a little thing I stumbled all over on the video. That is, you are starting with the plus pole when you are connecting the charging wire. When you are doing it this way, you can, if you are not careful, you can make a shortcut from the plus to the frame, and it will draw a lot of current, and it can make a big spark, and it can be dangerous. So when you are messing, or when you are working with the battery, always start with the negative poles when you when you are disconnected. Because when you are working here, and if you get the screwdriver or the wrench, what you're doing on the frame, nothing will happen, because they have the same polarity. So always minus first when you disconnect it. When you connect it, the minus is the last one you put on. So when you're working with the battery, when you're disconnecting, always the minus first, and when you're connecting, the minus last. Then you cannot make a failure and make a big spark. Now I will connect the multimeter here to the bike, and I take the negative from the common from the meter and set it on the negative of the battery. I can be a little bit so, and then I take the plus from the other line, so the plug line from the meter on the frame wire here. I don't know the correct. I don't know what the correct name is on the in English, but it's a wire that go from the negative to the frame. And put this on here. And then yeah, I have some gravel here on the floor because I have dropped some oil. Now you can see we can see that's running 0.087 amps. It's 87 milliamps, and it's not a lot of current, but this current, this amount, so this amount of current is not a big power loss. But the battery on a motorbike is so small, so with this power loss here, it will take around 2 weeks. Then the bike will not be able to start. Now we have to find out where this power loss is going to. So now, so when you have this, you can see this power loss. Then you pull one fuse at a time, and when you pull the right, so this fuse where this power loss is on, it will go to 0. I will not pull the fuse now. I will not pull a fuse because I will not. It's difficult to come through to do. So I only shut down this. I know this power loss here. It's because I have my rally computer on. I will shut it off, and then you can see the power floating through the wire here is go to 0. So now we don't have a power loss any longer. So when you pull the fuse, you have to look at the meter, and when you pull the fuse and the amps here are going to 0, you have found the circuit on the bike where you have the power loss. Then you can take this fuse off, or let it be off, and then you can see what's not working on the bike. And then in this way you can work closer to the place where you have the power loss. In this way you can also measuring how much current this little USB charger you have. I have one tool here on my bike. We can try to turn the bike on, and then we can see here 6.4 amps. I'll shut down all the lights, and the only thing I have on now is the negative. I have some LEDs for control lights because I have built out the original instrumentation. So the only thing is on now, it's what do you call it? The negative. I know control lights in a normal way because I pulled out built my bike on on. I have really built it. So I had no normal lights on. I have LEDs, and they are using not very much current. And the only one that's on now is the neutral and the oil indicator. And then I have this, what do we call it? This USB power charger. And you can see here 130 milliamps. And I will reckon 1 to 1.5 weeks. When this is on the whole time, the bike will not start. So these small USB charger using quite a lot of current. But you can try to measuring and see up how much yours or an ACE USB charger is using. Yeah, I think with that, what I have. No, one more thing. When you are done with the measuring with your multimeter here, always pull out this in the amps here and set it on to volts and ohms, because you cannot damage the meter when it's here, but only when it's here. So when you when you have measuring amps, and when and you try to measuring voltage after, and you know how to move this one over here, you damage the meter. But if you try to measuring amps and the meter is set up like this, nothing will happen with the meter. And then at last we should have this one on too. And always remember, as I told you in the start, the negative first off and last on. Then another little thing about this charging wire here. There's no fuse on this one, so if you make a shortcut here or here, when the wire here is rubbed and rubbed through the insulation here, you can make a shortcut to the frame, and you can make a fire in this wire here, because you have no fuse. So you have to be careful how you mount this, so it's not rubbing about against the frame and so. But what I can see on the video you had made, the way you have pulled this wire around, it's okay. And if you want to be 100% sure nothing is happening, you can set a fuse here. I had chosen not to do that because I also use it to jumpstart the bike, because when the bike is assembled, I have the side cover. Let's go all the way down here and the saddle and so I can just jumpstart it here. In this problem. I think this was all I have to say to this charging video you had made. So I think you should try to find this power loss you have, and if it's this USB charger, mine I had connected on the ignition. So if I had to want to charge, I have to have the ignition. I cannot pronounce it now, but I have to turn the key. And if I'm on a ride and I want to charge, I only turn the key, and then I shut down all the lights and so. Yeah. But it was all from here, Mark, and I hope you can use this input I'm coming with. If you have some questions to how to measuring, then just ask them, then I will try to explain. Hey.